Slide number 1, chapters 9 and 10, Beginning Your Career. This is found on page 162. Slide number 2, the critical first year. Think for a moment back to your first job and picture yourself doing that job. What things did you do well? What did you learn about that organization? And think about the critical things that happened within that first year of your job. Did you have good relationships with your coworkers? When you enter a new organization, you want to learn the culture. Find out if there is casual day Fridays or if it's business casual all the time. Even if it is a fitness job, you don't want to look like you're working out, but rather have a professional type of uniform if it's required, or have even nicer looking activewear. Earn respect and credibility. Establish yourself as a smart, hard worker. Try not to do everything faster, though. I get into the habit of rushing through things where maybe the quality will be overlooked just to get to a deadline or think that I'm saving time. So working faster is not always a positive. And then you want to have value added within things that you do, such as leadership opportunities. Again, that is why I had you view the PowerPoint, or rather the video for the ropes course, PEFT 185. That's an opportunity for you to learn about yourself and become a better leader. And finally, communicate openly and directly. Keep your communications that you send out through email organized nicely in different folders, as well as take notes within different minutes of your meeting minutes so that you have things to look back and refresh your memory later on. Slide number 3. A professional needs to participate in social activities so that you get to know a little bit about your professional coworkers. So there may be Christmas parties, birthday celebrations, conferences, or dinners, but always keep in mind that you're a fish in a fishbowl and that what you do or say could come back and haunt you. So this is slide number 3. In regards to this, always be willing to learn, use your best judgment getting caught up in office politics, and understand that interconnectedness with humanity. You want to always have a good friend at work so that you can sort of bounce ideas off of and talk to and vent. That's good for mental and physical health as well. Slide number 4. Professional behavior. List those 5 characteristics that a health, wellness, or fitness professional should possess. So this is something that we can discuss later on in our discussion forums, but right now just take a moment to list those things from your book. Slide number 5, professional behavior. This is something that seems very common knowledge, but I do want to bring it up because you want to avoid offensive behavior, such as neglecting to use common courtesies. Well, what are those? Common courtesies could be not saying please or thank you, telling coworkers, or taking coworkers' supplies without asking. Maybe it's leaving common work areas messy, or having loud phone conversations, or even chomping on your gum. The second one is neglecting to use professional courtesies. Those would be things such as being late for meetings, not knocking on the door before entering it, and talking about people behind their backs. And finally, the third one, offensive behaviors, wearing too much cologne or perfume, talking about politics or religious beliefs in an imposing way, and then sending junk emails and offensive jokes. I hate getting, please forward this to 20 people, or you're not a good person, or those crazy different emails that you've all gotten millions of. Slide number 6, professionalism. You want to accept criticism and learn from your mistakes. As I mentioned before, I still need to slow down. I need to make sure that the message is getting across, and so that's why I'm going to be having you evaluate me to see how we can enhance this internet class. The second one is the unexpected. How do you handle any problems and still get your work done? Try to make lists, have time and deadlines for yourself, and then always dress professionally. Dress for success. When in doubt, dress overdress versus underdress. You always want to look neat, and remember, see Chapter 7 for more details on that. The next slide is lifelong learning. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you like school, this field does not ever end. In other words, you'll get your certificate and or diploma, but the information that I speak about today in our class or in another class may change tomorrow. So always be reading up on the latest current trends and research within our field. And read professional journals as well as the popular culture magazines. Remember, professional journals could be things from American College of Sports Medicine or NSCA or NCSF that once you get on their distribution list, you'll now get monthly publications from them. In addition to that, read Men's Health, Muscle Fitness, Shape, or Self magazine, because they will take the information from the professional journals and sort of water it down and summarize it for the lay or the general person. And that's what your clients will be reading, so it's great to have information on that. Number 8 talks about involvement in the profession. You want to be both a member as well as a participant. It could be at a state or local level and either national and also national or international level. Volunteer to be on committees. Look through those publications and job listings and see what's out there so that you can get involved. It may even be going to a conference, which I know that can add up, but if you share a room with people, you'll get the student rate, and that'll help you learn and grow as a professional. Slide number 9, Office Dynamics. With regards to the politics, I love The Office, that show on NBC. It's a fictional example of this, but there are many things that you can get caught up with at work, such as gossiping and what travels through the grapevine. So the thing I want to really focus on is office romance. You always want to check your policies and procedures because in many workforces it is forbidden, but some people think, oh, that thrill of getting involved with somebody at work is wonderful, but it many times leads to divorce or the end of relationships. And then once people start declaring, oh yeah, we're involved, and it's not secretive anymore, many times that fizzles out rather quickly because part of it was just that thrill. So think to yourself about office dynamics, and please email me if you have any other examples that you can share with the class. Switching gears now to slide number 10, legal issues. This actually comes from page 169 to 171. We and I should say beyond just we, but discrimination issues. No one can get discriminated against due to your age, ethnicity, religion, gender, and there's equal pay for all, or equal pay for equal work. The Americans with Disabilities Act was passed in 1990, as well as sexual orientation you cannot get discriminated against. So let me back up and talk about age. The Federal Age Discrimination in Employment Act, or ADED, is a law that prohibits employers from discriminating against people over the age of 40. Religion, the Civil Rights Act prohibits employers from discriminating based on religious beliefs. Equal pay, all employers doing the same job should receive the same pay. And then, as I mentioned before, the Americans with Disabilities Act. For extra credit, if anybody would like to just summarize any one of these protected classifications and email it to me in a Word document, I'll mark that in for a point or two in my grade book. Sexual harassment. This comes from slide number 11. In regards to the definition, it is any unwelcome sexual advance or conduct on the job that creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. It happens to both men and women, and there's a movie from the early 80s called Disclosure that has that reverse role of sexual harassment. Other examples could include offensive jokes or emails, pornography, implied or explicit sexual overtones, as well as sexual assault. So you want to know your policies, your civil rights protects employees from it, and then also think to yourself different scenarios. There is a 1-800 number to find out what our state laws are, and that is 1-800-669-4000. So what should you do? For extra credit, if anybody wants to find out what the law is in Ohio, again, that's 1-800-669-4000, and then we can also talk about scenarios as in regards to what you should do, and that comes from page 171. Slide number 12, Family and Medical Leave Act. The FMLA pretty much protects your job for up to 12 weeks for you to take care of a seriously ill family member or recuperate from your own sickness or to take care of a newly or adopted child. A newborn or an adopted child. Has anyone ever used that? Think back to your examples, and if you want to post that, that would be wonderful. Many times that is not paid for, though. It just guarantees your job, but it unfortunately is not always 100% paid. Health and safety is next. If you want Want to know what the OSHA dangers are at LCC? I can give you a couple quick ones. Blood. People are always cutting themselves in the fitness center and in our classes, as well as bodily fluids. There's vomit, unfortunately, in the hallways this past week. Towels with regards to people showering in the bathrooms, and then also bathrooms in general. So we provide gloves for our students. Just know what you should need to take precautions to avoid bloodborne pathogens, and that comes out of our HIV/AIDS as well as our health and wellness classes. And first aid talks about it as well, so you're going to be pretty well covered. Chapter continues on with slide number 14 that talks about other issues. There are illegal reasons for firing employees, so you want to know your policies and procedures, and we're going to talk about different questions here in a second. Slide number 15. There is a PowerPoint that says legal versus illegal. From page 179 to 180, I've come up with a cute little game to test yourself. So grab a friend and shout out legal or illegal, and I will also post those answers. But in general, you don't want to list anything in regards to your high school diploma on your resume. It's assumed that if you are in college, you've either earned your high school diploma or your GED. So you don't want to put the years on there because people can do the math and figure most seniors in high school are 17 or 18 years old, and then consciously or subconsciously people can know your age, and they may discriminate whether they realize it or not. So don't give people an opportunity to say, well, they're so young they might not have enough experience, or they're so seasoned that they have way too much experience and they're overqualified. So don't give people that opportunity to potentially discriminate against you. So take a moment to do the legal versus illegal game, and we'll have a quiz on these two chapters. Thank you.